The traditional pressure and stress on turf managers from their clubs and committees has, in the last few years, combined with Mother Nature's big fires, big wet and big pandemic to create a perfect storm.
I was just burnt out. I just couldn't keep going. You know, I was at work, it felt like 24/7, certainly 7 days a week.
And David Warwick's story is no different from the reports of superintendents resigning after many years of industrious service.
I just couldn't keep going, and the reason I resigned is my wife made me. So it was very clear cut. One morning she said, "You're resigning today."
A report published in March 2021 by the Club Management Association of Europe, a non-profit, described around half of the turf management industry suffering anxiety and worry, experiencing sleeping problems and depression. Yuri Carpro caught up with ASTMA Distinguished Service Award winner David Warwick, and David talks about attitudes to his work many would relate to.
I think I put it on myself more than anything else. I think striving for perfection or taking it all on myself. I worked for a very wealthy club. I could have easily put staff on to do some of the things I was doing, weekend work, coming back of an afternoon checking greens.
After leaving his role as turf superintendent at a premier Sydney golf club, David has returned with similar energy to a private project between Sydney and Newcastle, transforming a cow paddock into a private golfing adventure for owner Steve Duchin.
I look back at that and think how silly I was, trying to save the club a few dollars when they had millions and millions in the bank. And that could have alleviated a lot of the burnout, I guess. But I guess all things happen for a reason. I went through a fairly, down period where you've chucked in a high profile job, that loss of identity, which I was guilty of, you know. I was at a high profile club, that's who I was. All of a sudden, it's gone.
With this new chapter, working with Steve to create a private golf experience for family, friends and a few guests, David is hitting off from a new tee in more ways than one, and he has been able to make it onto the green comfortably.
So 12 months it took me to get over what I'd done, and then met Steve and got the job here, and I wish it had happened 10 years earlier.
In turning fodder for cattle into a luxurious golf experience, Dave has rediscovered his energy and passion for turf management.
I'm back on the tools. I'm working physically harder than I've worked for a long time. I'm really enjoying that. Sometimes I'm running between jobs, particularly through construction, making sure I was ahead of the contractors all the time, the shaping and earthworks.
As a turf manager, recently welcomed by the ASTMA into the pantheon of Australian turf industry greats, we hope David's frank conversation here may help others.
The pressures have changed, if you like. I don't have any committee. I have management in Steve, but he's proved pretty easy to get on with so far. But I don't have any of those pressures. I don't have the pressures of looking after staff, wondering what they're doing, if their work is up to scratch or not. So it's all up. I wish I'd found this job years ago. It's wonderful. Manage how much time you spend at work. And if you feel like you're under pressure, go and see the committee, talk to them about it and come out with an outcome.